it's nice seeing, this businessman walk in the door, in a suit and tie and everything, and then he takes his shirt off and he has a full body suit and everything. My dad was in the Coast Guard, so I was born in California and lived everywhere else. Honestly, I kind of fell into it. When I moved back to Florida in '08, I had a full-time job and I went into a shop just to ask if I could sweep the floors and answer the phone so I could get free tattoos. And after a little while, it just kind of snowballed into them asking me if I wanted to learn how to tattoo, and I was really hesitant at first because it was not anything that I wanted to do. But they ended up teaching me how to tattoo, and almost 10 years later, here I am. Well, my wife and I actually met in Asheville when I was living there, and got married and had kids in Florida. And we always wanted to be back in this area, but Asheville's a little bit too much for us. Originally, we were in Johnson City for about a year, and our realtor had sent us up to Bristol to look at a couple houses, and after walking up and down State Street and everything, we just fell in love with it. Oh man, tattooing is like a huge love-hate relationship. I mean, it has its highs and its lows, just like with any other job. But I guess the biggest thing is the people that you get to meet. There's the people that walk through the door. It's not someone that I would normally talk to or hang out with or whatever, and you become friends and everything else. So I mean, it has its good things and bad things, like I said. All right, so I had this guy come in one time. When I say guy, it was more of a kid that came in. And of course, in Tennessee, you have to be 18 in order to get tattooed. There's no signatures from parents. It doesn't matter. You have to be 18. So he comes in. He obviously looks young. I had asked him, how old he was. He had just turned 18. And this is in the summer, so he's got shorts and a t-shirt on. And you can assume that he doesn't have any tattoos because you can't really see anything. The kid literally wanted, and he did tell me it was his first tattoo, he wanted a tattoo on his face. Now, as acceptable as tattoos are becoming, that is still, that's super, super not okay spot, especially for your first one at 18 years old. So I told him, we don't tattoo faces and hands and necks unless you're heavily tattooed and you kind of get it, you understand what comes along with it. I am not kidding you. The kid literally said, I have a SoundCloud and I'm about to blow up on SoundCloud, and that's the reason that I want to get my face tattooed. And it was so hard for me not to laugh, because especially, this was a couple years ago, especially being in this time and everything, but it's just like, we are relying on SoundCloud now, dude, just to get your face tattooed. Like, it doesn't happen, man. But I didn't tattoo him. I don't know if he got tattooed. I don't know. I mean, he could be the next Eminem. I'm not really sure. But I can sleep better at night knowing that I did not tattoo this kid's face. I mostly do the American traditional type of tattoos, like the sailor tattoos. There's another guy that works here, Dustin. He does a lot more of the black and gray and the realism. So we try to give each other those, obviously that it's more of our specialty kind of thing, and the things that we both enjoy doing. A lot of people refer to them as sailor tattoos because, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, sailors were predominantly the people getting tattoos, sailors and bikers and things. So that style of tattoos, a lot of people know like Sailor Jerry's name or Ed Hardy. They were just kind of lumped into that category of sailor tattoos. But the traditional style is coming back, and well, honestly, it's really never gone anywhere, I guess. But it's becoming popular again and everything, to where that's that's, like I said, just something that I enjoy doing. These are the old style stencils that they used to use back in the day. And you would, on this piece of plastic, you would etch in your design, and with a bag of graphite, you would put it on there and then literally have to put the stencil on, and you had a one shot to get the tattoo in there. If you wiped it off, you were done. Tattoos in general are becoming more popular. Even in the 10 years that I've been in it, you can see the change, you know, and everything. If you know someone that doesn't have a tattoo at this point, they're almost the minority now. So I mean, it is a popular thing. I mean, we stay busy enough to keep the lights on and pay the bills, and that's really all we're concerned about at this point. So I mean, that's, you know, there's plenty to go around. You know, even with a couple of shops that are in the area, you know, there's plenty of fish in the sea to tattoo for sure. I tell people this a lot. Is even years ago, my mom wouldn't hire people with visible tattoos. You know, and granted, the business that she's in, it has a little bit more of that stigma to it, and throughout the years, you know, it's since it has become so much more acceptable, you know, and of course I'm heavily tattooed, and it's what I do for a living too, but you know, it has changed, and it's not what it was a couple years ago. Some of the things blow my mind on how doctors and nurses and policemen can't have tattoos when, you know, they're literally there to save my life. You know, I don't really care what they look like at that point, but it is great. It's nice seeing, you know, this businessman walk in the door, you know, in a suit and tie and everything, and then he takes his shirt off and he has a full body suit and everything. You would never expect it. So it's definitely interesting. A couple years ago, I met a guy named Scotty, and he puts on a bunch of tattoo conventions all throughout the country. Scotty originally is from Bristol, and he had approached me and asked if, you know, there was an opportunity or a way that we could do a show here. So it took about 2 or 3 years for us to figure it out and get everything going. And 2019 was our first show, and to us it was, you know, a huge success and everything. So we're doing it again this year. So I guess, like with the tattoo convention and everything, you know, there was a part of us that were a little bit leery with it, just because it is still a small town, and you know, we didn't know how well received it would be. We had about 70 tattooers, literally from all over the country, come in, and not only the way that the tattooers were treated by the city of, you know, Bristol and everything, but the way that the tattooers also treat the businesses. I mean, I've gotten nothing but positive feedback from the hotels and the restaurants and the bars and the shops and everything else. And you know, asking for us to do it again. You know, they had a great time, and you know, even the scary guy with the tattoos all over his face and everything, he was just the sweetest man possible. So I mean, it was great to hear, and it was nice to see that it was such well received on completely opposite ends of the spectrum, you know. I love it. I mean, especially with State Street, it's big enough, but it's small enough. You know, all the business owners know each other, everyone gets along, and of course the atmosphere. Even since I've been down here about 3.5 years, you can see that it's growing and expanding. We don't have a lot of empty buildings anymore. So I love it down here. And then of course with the rhythm and roots and things like that, it makes it that much more fun. The last couple of years, I've had to have 3 tattooers in here in order to just keep up with the crowd, and we're still sending people away. Our plans going forward, you know, of course, with everything going on in Bristol, you know, trying to keep up with the, I guess, the supply and demand, just do good tattoos and pay our bills. I mean, we're having a great time. We love the city, we love the area and everything, and we love meeting new people. So, you know, as long as we're here and having fun, then that's what we're going to continue to do.